Welcome back to another episode of the show. I'm your host, David Womack. Let's dive right into TV and movie news. In our first bit of news, the Illumination Entertainment movie Migration had the worst box office opening ever for that company. Minion Studio has worst box office opening weekend ever with new animated movie. Illumination Entertainment's movie Migration had the worst opening weekend in the company's history. Migration follows a family of ducks who end up stuck in New York City on their way to Jamaica. Migration has earned the worst box office opening in the history of Illumination Entertainment. The studio, which is best known for Despicable Me franchise that introduced the world to the Minions, is also behind such animated features as The Secret Life of Pets, The Lorax, and Sing. Migration's release is set to land at number 3 in the box office over the weekend. This opening weekend gross may come as something of a shock to a company that typically posts opening weekends north of 50 million. However, not all is going poorly. Seems like a fun movie. I've seen it. It was a fun ride, but those box office numbers don't lie. In our next bit of news, reportedly Marvel Studios is set to keep Kang as a reoccurring character. Marvel Studios, the multiverse saga with Kang the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors is out, but Kang the Conqueror is still in. Sources close to Marvel claim that Kang the Conqueror will still be in the main villain in the multiverse saga, despite the firing of actor Jonathan Majors. However, it's also been reported that other villains will step up in the MCU, fill in for the absence of Majors' Kang. Now, if you're not familiar with Kang, Jonathan Majors plays a different variant of Kang the Conqueror, so there's multiple variants throughout the entire universe. And Marvel fans thought the multiverse was a mess when Peter Parker botched Doctor Strange's spell and Spider-Man No Way Home. With the recent legal troubles of actor Jonathan Majors, Marvel Studios made the choice to part ways with the actor's tasked with portraying the big baddie Kang the Conqueror. It looks like the character will still live in the universe, but Jonathan Majors won't have any work moving forward. It all makes sense, best wishes to everyone involved. In our next bit of news, Rebel Moon looks like its writers are hitting back at some of the negative reviews out there. Rebel Moon's reviews have been very mixed. Many critics have slammed the movie for many reasons, but writer Kurt Johnstad doesn't agree with any of them. Rebel Moon Part 1 received a Rotten Tomato score of less than 25%. But the screenwriter dismisses critics and emphasizes the emotional core of the film. Part 1, A Child of Fire, arrived on Netflix a few days ago and instantly divided audiences. Keep in mind that Rebel Moon is a movie that has gone through several iterations, having started out as a Star Wars pitch made by Snyder to Lucasfilm. While the studio ultimately decided not to go with Snyder's story, the director sat on the idea for a while and now they had the chance to bring it to life on its own terms. The response hasn't exactly been positive. I'll let you guys look up the stories, but that gets interesting and I'll like to see where that goes. In our next bit of news, it looks like Mickey Mouse enters into the public domain starting January 1st. The earliest version of Mickey Mouse will enter the public domain on January 1st, marking a significant moment in Disney's history. Mickey Mouse, the iconic Disney mascot, is about to head into the public domain. Keep in mind that it will be under certain specifications. In short, you won't be seeing him and Goofy slashing their way through Disney World anytime soon. U.S. copyright law says works can enter into public domain after 95 years of its existence. A form of Mickey Mouse will be made available for use by anyone. This chiefly concerns Steamboat Willie, which is generally considered the debut of Mickey Mouse, although Plain Crazy The Gabble and Gaucho were both produced prior to the landmark short. As such, those files will also be in the public domain. But the Mickey Mouse of Steamboat Willie is most definitely not the same as Mickey, the Mickey Mouse we all identify. The 1928 version has more rat-like features with a elongated nose, similar eyes, and probably some form of hentravirus. You can do whatever you like with that information. I just thought it'll be a good piece of film history. In our next bit of news, Salaar Part 1 Ceasefire is creating major waves in the movie theaters this weekend. This movie series goes really deep, so if you're interested in that, take a look into this film. And some more box office news. It looks like we have a pretty interesting weekend coming up. The Wendigo, coming December 29th, horror thriller. A Native American teen resurrects an ancient demon to protect his family from meth dealers. The Goldfinger, action crime, starring Tony Leung, December 30th. MASH, the comedy that changed television. Join the men and women who made MASH as they celebrate one of the most beloved, enduringly popular, often quoted, and influential comedies ever created. So in our last bit of news, it looks like we had a pretty low box office weekend. Oh man. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom opened to $80 million at the international box office, which isn't all that super considering those ticket sales are not on par with eventual big budget superhero disappointments like The Flash, The Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. The box office sequel featuring Jason Momoa as the King of Atlantis and directed by James Wan has generated $120 million global to start, including a weak $40 million in North America. It was a low weekend for us and Aquaman didn't hit. Aquaman got off to a less than splashy start with $13.7 million on opening day across 3,706 locations, getting a boost from showtimes in premium large format theaters like IMAX. Now, when you think of Christmas, you don't necessarily think of Aquaman. So I think, it was a big miss for them. But you guys can check out the reviews. You'll see what I mean. That's all the TV and movie news we have for today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let me know you love me. Let me know you care. Also, hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that we're here and we're here to stay. As always, have a great day, everyone.